Hey guys, Bridget here. In this video, we're going to create this website landing page from scratch using Figma. Now, this is a design which was created based on a design of a UI kit, which I'm going to leave in the link in the description, and that is from UI8. So if you're interested in looking at the full project, feel free to check it out. And I also want to remind you that I recently launched a free course on how to get started in UI UX design. So if you're interested in joining this ever-growing field, feel free to check it out. And now without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Okay, so we're back in Figma and we're going to continue where we left off in the previous video. So if you haven't checked it out already, we basically recreated this entire screen from scratch. So feel free to check it out if you need to get to the first part, but you can also completely follow this tutorial from scratch. So we can simply select this top section, and we're going to get rid of all of these elements right here. So we're going to basically go over here, select these two rectangles, get rid of them. And for this specific section, we're not going to touch the top level menu, which by the way has Lato as a free Google web font. And what we're gonna do is we're actually going to duplicate this line, and we're going to switch it to a horizontal view, and we're going to stretch it all the way so that it covers the entirety of the width of this frame. All right. So we have our basic top level menu, and now what we're gonna do is we're going to duplicate this. And by the way, let's turn on the layout grids again. We basically have a 12 point layout grid. We're going to write in confirm and pay. So this is going to be the main headline. Let's increase the size. And let's bring it up just a little bit. We're also going to duplicate this button. Let's go home over here. And this is going to essentially help the user to go back to the previous screen. And now what we're gonna do is we're going to duplicate one of these texts right here. And we are going to bring it all the way to the right. Going to write spectacular views of Queenstown, and we're going to essentially add a arrow, which I think we already have somewhere. No, it was from a previous tutorial. All right, so we're going to use nucleo icons again in order to find an arrow icon. Let's bring it up here. Let's flip it. Let's make it smaller. Let's bring it right here on the very center. All right, let's duplicate this. Let's write confirm and pay. I'm going to make this 50% opacity, or let's say 65%. Let's bring it up and more towards the right. And here we go. All right. Probably going to make this smaller. Just a bit. Let's do 50. Maybe let's consider making it just bold. All right, at this point, what we're gonna do is we're going to select this element, unlock it, and let's bring it over here as a duplicate. And let's make it quite big. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add one of this text right here. Let's write in your trip. Now we're going to duplicate this one time Let's make it quite a bit smaller, and probably going to enlarge just by one column this line. Let's make this less rounded. Let's remove the shadow. Let's make this gray. All right, let's duplicate this. Let's resume it from here. Let's write in dates. Let's duplicate this. May 15. I'm going to increase the size just a little bit. Right, edit. Let's increase, let's make this lighter gray. Actually, let's bring it down a notch. Just like that. We're going to duplicate this over here. Alright, so we have this basic section established, and now we're going to continue down here. We're going to write pay with. Then we're going to have two options. The very first one is going to be PayPal, and the second one is going to be credit card. Let's see if we already have oh well, we'll create one. So let's duplicate this one more time. Let's bring it right here. And here as well. Round it all the way. Let's make this white. All right, let's bring it here, and now let's go ahead, let's duplicate this element. We're going to create an input field. Perfect, let's make it white. And let's make this gray. All right. Let's make this 46. And let's make it span all the way across. All right, let's add an arrow all the way up. Let's add another divider line right here. Let's add the credit card. We're going to add two logos. First one's going to be Visa. And the second one, MasterCard. Cool. Let's make them smaller in size. Let's bring them to the far right. Perfect. So at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this element again. We're going to write card number. And then we're going to add a series of numbers. Let's make this green. I'm going to add a checkbox, a check mark. It's just this one here. Right, let's make it a little bit smaller. Let's add a little bit of a stroke. Cool. Let's duplicate this one more time. Card holds. All right, good stuff. So at this point, what we're gonna do is we're going to work on this section right here. So we're going to duplicate this and let's bring it here. Let's remove the shadow. Let's give it a gray color. Let's enlarge it just a tiny bit. Now we're going to use Unsplash in order to find an image which might work well in this context. It's just this one here. Probably going to try a few afterwards. For now, let's just keep this one. And what we're gonna do is we're going to essentially add some text. Let's make this smaller. Hosted by. I'm going to add an avatar. All right, let's bring this one right here. Bring this up. And now let's go on with the stars rating, and that should give us a good base for the time being. All right, so let's go ahead and let's bring this one all the way here. We're going to write in different sections. So we're going to have check-in, and we're going to grab one of the icons from the previous project. I'm going to paste it here. Right, let's copy all of this, and we're going to duplicate this one. Let's write checkout. To guess, and let's add the other icon. Okay, let's change the color, let's remove the drop shadow, and we have the base for this section too. Now we're going to add a few price details and we're going to wrap it up. Let's make this darker. Right, let's write the total. All right, so we pretty much have it. hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and yeah, we'll see you in the very next one.